opening up a message with a picture of a naked woman asking if I'd like to meet up. I deleted all my accounts. I didn't want to see it, so I certainly didn't want Faith to see it. It had nothing to do with football. None of those things were necessary for me to win games.
"Boobies!"
a 2-year-old Faith had exclaimed. It was enough to drive a non-drinking man to drink. Randall cleared his throat, and I forced myself back into the conversation. "Randall," I sighed, "I don't need those things to play football. Peyton Manning never did social media, and his career didn't suffer because of it." "Are you comparing yourself to Peyton Manning?" he asked innocently. I wanted to punch him in the scrotum. Faith winced when she shifted on the couch, so I pulled the phone away from my ear. "You okay, Turbo?" At her nickname, the one I'd given her when she was barely 2, she flashed me a quick smile.
"I'm okay, Daddy. Just hurt when I set it down too hard."
I nodded at her answer and let out a deep breath before I turned back toward the kitchen counter, bracing my fists on the gleaming white surface after wedging my phone between my face and shoulder. "Listen," I told him. "Unless a reporter shows up on my doorstep asking why I wasn't there, I'm not making a statement."
"Why not?"
The sound out of my mouth was pure skeptical amusement. "You wanted a list?" "Oh, media, how do I hate thee. Let me count the ways." "Because it doesn't matter what I say, Randall. They'll make up their own version of the truth, twist my words, and make it fit their story with a neat little bow." "Lord, you're cynical." "Can you blame me?" I asked. He was silent. "I guess not." He cleared his throat. "But come on, one sentence." "No." The last conversation that I'd had with Robert before his sudden massive heart attack had been a good one. Substantial. He told me he was proud of all that we'd accomplished, but we had a long future ahead of us to keep achieving more. I told him he was a great owner, a good man, and he'd slap me on the back. I didn't need to share that story with anyone. It was my history with him, not to be used for a soundbite or fodder for public consumption. Through the speaker there was a sound of slight exasperation. "You're such a stubborn ass, Pierson. Haven't you ever heard of being proactive?" I almost laughed. Almost. My lips curled slightly at the edges because what flipped through my brain was dawn workouts, muscle work to combat the normal deterioration that professional football players fought against the second the season kicked off, and the hours of film I watched from the office perched in the northwest corner of the lower level of my house. "Nope."
"Whoa,"
Faith said in a short burst of air. I turned around to see her off the couch, nose pressed to the sliding glass door.
"She looks like Barbie."
"Who does?" I asked her. "Who does what?" Randall said in my ear. "I wasn't talking to you." "The man signed your paychecks, Piers," Randall said, using the nickname that was common among my teammates. "You need to say something about the fact that he ended up with his forehead down on the dining room table. Did you know that? Right on his dinner plate." "Holy shit, Randall," I muttered, pinching the bridge of my nose. Faith didn't notice my slip, or else I'd have to put a buck in the swear jar. Have a little respect. He had a heart attack. At least he had the grace to do it before the season started. Maybe it won't upset the balance of anything too much. Do you know who's going to replace him? After 12 years, I'm still not entirely convinced that you have an actual soul." "Of course I do." Faith's jaw dropped open, and I peered through the doors but couldn't see anything. She was standing so close to the glass I could see it fog up when she spoke. "Look at her bathing suit. I wish I could wear one like that." Fatherly alarm bells clanged noisily in my head. Randall, I have to go." "You have to make that statement. Robert Sutton III was a class act owner, great leader, blah, 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 something, anything, because I bet you $100 they'll make a big deal out of this." "Daddy," she practically whined, "can we please go say hi? She's looking over here. I think she sees me." The hair lifted on the back of my neck because the house next to us had been empty for as long as we'd lived here. It wasn't unheard of for fans to find out where players lived, but we'd managed to stay off the radar for the past 18 months since we moved into the modest house on Lake Washington, just outside Seattle. Well, I thought as I looked